Hey, so you may be interested in recording, streaming, etc. Well, I'm gonna show you a few things. I'm gonna show you the basic setup for OBS, some really useful tips, and some other very useful stuff. I will also include a snippet of me streaming from a secondary machine, which really shouldn't be doing streaming, but it's actually capable of full HD streaming at 60 FPS if you do it right. So look forward to that. First of all, settings. So let's actually work stream service. You just want to select YouTube. If you want to stream primary ingest server, you can connect your account to use the stream key and then just follow their instructions. Video. I have a 2K screen. I don't suggest streaming it more at 1080p because most people have 1080p monitors or below. There's really no point. The downscale factor is what your computer feels comfortable with. It is essentially the factor of how basically accurate the downscaling will be. FPS is FPS, that's self-explanatory. Your output scale resolution is going to be your actual video resolution. You can see if you can't really record in a higher resolution, you can record at a low one. And, well, what do you actually... And, well, here's the thing, okay? 1080p video at 30 FPS will take roughly the same processing time, pixel by pixel, as a 720p video going at 60 FPS. So, for FPS games, 60 FPS, for RTS games, 30 FPS. So now let's go into our streaming things. Now, encoder-wise, you really should be using either X264 or AMD's little encoder framework, depending on if your computer can handle this or this. If you're running NVIDIA, you should be using NVENC because it's really good. However, let's look at the basic stuff which all of these guys have. Let's first deal with this guy, which is what I'll be showing up here as an example. So, on CBR, which is what you should be using it for a stream, you want to basically take 3/4 of your network bandwidth. How do you get this? Well, you go on a website that tests your internet speed, you take the megabits per second upload, and well, I have an upload speed of 20 megabits, which is 20,000 kilobits, but I would want to, leave some extra upload speed left so that I can play games that are online. You want to select essentially a preset that will show off your computer's potential. My PC can run fine on medium for most games, but if you're struggling with that, because it is actually quite, it eats up around 30%, maybe even sometimes 50% of my 5600's performance when I'm playing really intensive stuff, so maybe lower that. But if you're gonna go into very fast and ultra fast territory, you should probably move on to this. Now we have some stuff here. Keep it unbalanced. This here, you can keep it on something. Keep in mind AMD's stuff will use a bit of your GPU, so maybe performance could be a little bit reduced. You want to also use CBR. You want to, again, set the frame rate, and boom. All this other stuff, it's fine. Filler data helps. Audio-wise, I'll be using YouTube as an example, by the way. For streaming to Twitch, you should only really use 6,000, because that's what they allow. This is what YouTube allows, so streaming-wise, that's okay. Audio-wise, you should just keep your default desktop audio and your microphone that you want to use. And for hotkeys-wise, you should set up some hotkeys to mute and unmute yourself, to start and stop your recording and streaming. And you also want to set up preview. Now, what is the preview? It's this. You can disable and enable it. Disabling your preview, you can actually save you a lot of valuable performance time where it sometimes really helps. Now, some other stuff. You can see that this is not at 0 decibels. It's because lowering these guys down here will help you drastically in some situations. As you can see right now, they are on all tracks. We'll get to this in the actual recording segment. This is the streaming segment. To get much better audio quality, you want to use noise suppression. You can just plus noise suppression, blah, 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 and add RN noise. It's really good because it makes it so you don't have a bunch of background noise. Now that's it. However, what can you actually stream? And how well will actually, look? Well, for that we need to go on to the segment that I recorded earlier while testing it out. Important thing to note, you do want to have your browser open so you can control your live stream. That's why you shouldn't share your entire screen. I did because it's a private live stream. And let's just go through a bit on the funny. And yes, I did record a live stream from a second computer. Here you can see the very simple recording settings. Everything is almost identical to what I was talking about before. As you can see, target usage, balance. You can see this stuff here. This is on quick sync. So how does this look? Well, this is not a gaming PC. As you can see, looks a bit off. Mind you, this was still uploading at 60 FPS. If we move to a later section, as you can see in the later section, it does look a bit better. Keep in mind, this is the in-game lag, not the recording lagging. Recording is lag in a different type of way. However, as you can see, you could actually be getting a decent experience if only you were running an actually decent machine. And essentially, that's about it streaming-wise. That's a 1080p 60 live stream. However, you should probably be streaming at lower specs So that should be about it. However, you should definitely be considering recording at lower settings, low resolutions, lower frame rates, if this is really strangling your computer. However, if you're just capturing, let's say, footage off of a PlayStation 4/5/whatever and uploading it, then yeah, you can run your computer at 90% CPU usage while streaming because all the actual processing power is being done on another machine. So, let's get on to the recording section. Now, recording-wise, there are a few small things you need to note. Number one, if we quickly go into recording, as you can see here, we have MKV, and let me show you the first thing. Audio tracks. I mentioned we'd be getting back to this. As you can see, audio tracks are something kind of important. Output-wise, well, that's fine. You have some audio tracks. Recording-wise, you want to have audio tracks 1 and 2. Streaming should be on track 3. Now, when you click on Advanced Audio Properties, you should set your desktop audio to 1 and 3, and mic to 2 and 3. That is, so once you actually start streaming and recording, your stream will both get your game audio and your mic, and you can then separate your game audio from your microphone while editing, if you choose so. Now for the actual recording preset, as you're just using MKVs, and well, you can use whatever's there. You should not use CBR, you should use CRF. CBR tends to keep the same file size no matter what the situation is. CRF tries to keep whatever quality for regardless of the actual, file size. So, as an example, you can use, again, whatever setting here. Same applies to AMV, to, AMF, VC, However, what you want to note here is you should really be using somewhere between, I'd say 18 is the absolute most. Anything beyond that is wasteful. Anything beyond roughly 28, I'd say, is, again, wasting the stuff because it's just not going to look good. I keep it at around 24. YouTube does compress it down quite a bit, so you shouldn't, expect too much from it. And again, set this to whatever you feel like your computer can handle, and moving on to H.264 and H.265 on AMF, you should be definitely, again, using CQP, which is the same basically. You can just keep this at whatever, 24, set those to the same thing. I'm pretty sure that's how it works. I'm sorry if I got this one wrong, I'm not very used to this. And well, really, that's about it. Set up your hotkeys, set up your audio correctly, and your audio levels and audio noise cancelling. Set up your actual stream type, set up your encoder correctly. Also, yeah, again, sorry, MKV. And again, audio track 3 here, 1, 2 here. Video can be 1080p 60 at most, in my suggestion, and you can lower that down to whatever your computer can handle. Downscaling is important if you actually want to downscale from a higher resolution and make it look sharp. Again, do what your PC can handle. And most of all, have fun while recording. And I'll see ya. Oh, and also turn off your preview when you're not using it. It saves on performance a lot.
I still have 10 C4 to go through.
Oh, perfect.
Ow.
Who's doing it? Oh, we just took that.
There we go.
Who's ready?